Hey everybody, I had a video where I was helping my son remodel his studio apartment, but something happened. I thought it was uploaded to my YouTube channel, and it wasn't. I deleted all the videos and pictures and stuff. But anyway, my son is currently living in a basement, and he's wanting to move into a studio apartment. This studio apartment is you got to take a bunch of stairs up to get it. It's on top of a metal building, but it's 31 feet long by a little over 7 feet wide, and at the peak, it's 9 feet tall. And he's been trying to get people to help him remodel this, but people say things and do something else. But for the past 2 weekends, I've been helping him. Um, because he's wanting to install some new electrical plugs. The studio apartment had paneling, so we decided to take the paneling all down, use the paneling as template, and then we put sheetrock up. And we finished the sheetrock Sunday. And here's what another picture is. Anyway, we finished sheetrock Sunday, and I was wanting to surprise him, so I went over Monday and spent 5 hours at my pace to put sheetrock up on 3/4 of it. And I used 3/4 of a container of a 5-gallon bucket of mud. That's how many imperfections was in this place. I was sealing up all the cracks and stuff at the in the ceiling where the sheetrock met, and in the corners, et cetera, et cetera. And I had somebody, and I was going to put the floor down, and the whoever put the plywood down for the floor, they didn't do a very good job. There's some joints that are flexible, and they used half-inch plywood. So in order to fix that, there's a room underneath that. You got to take the ceiling down and scab up some boards. And I had some people who didn't have confidence in my abilities, and I'm not going to mention any names. And I want you to decide for yourself whether I got confident in my abilities. This is a video of what my place looked like before I moved in. Before I moved in, I came in and checked out the video. I'm going downstairs here. You see all the studs up. I'm going to turn off the light. Maybe you can see a little bit better. But I remodeled my entire house. It looked like a barn when I moved in. So I get to the next video here if I can. This is the kitchen area, and my kitchen is all concrete walls all the way around it, and I took and shot studs up to fix it, and then put drywall down. This is what I would used to have my pool table. You saw the rafters in the ceiling. There's the beams for the walls. That's the outside of my house. They use cypress lumber, or I don't know what kind of lumber, but it looked like a barn when I moved in, and I ripped it all off. And I put OSB board up, house wrap, and then vinyl siding. And I had to insulate. A lot of places they didn't have insulation, or they used clothes for insulation. This is upstairs. my house used to be a drug house, and there was a bunch of parties, and the rumor was, because there's no wall along the walkway, that some lady fell off the top of the floor after she was drunk onto the bottom of the floor. And now I'm going to show you some pictures. Again, that's what my house looked like before I moved in. The side of my house, the back of my house. You see they have insulation there. Well, behind one of these walls, they just had clothes for insulation. Inside of my house, the story goes, the lady I bought my house off of, her and her husband, the husband put a door right here at this, what would be a entranceway closet, and she couldn't open the door. She cussed him out, and he never did another thing. And she slept in that bedroom, from what I was told. The kitchen area again, here you can see the floor joists and the roof. Same way, this is where I had my pool table. You can see the floor joists, in the ceilings. Same way with the kitchen. That's going up. This is upstairs. There's no walkway. I ended up putting a 4-foot wall upstairs. There's me looking from back here. There's a bathroom, and I'm looking from that room going the other way. This floor here, again, there's studs, but no flooring. The back of my house, that's what my concrete pad looked like. And this is what the house looks like now. I did most of this all by myself. I had a few people help me. My son helped me a lot, but I only got him every other weekend. And when he was with me, he would help me work on my house. I had a neighbor that helped out a little bit. There's a guy named, there's a friend of mine, Mexican, that helped me out a little bit. And that's because I allowed him to stay with me. And part of his requirement for staying with me was to help me work on my house, the outside of the house again. There's a friend of mine, it was a client of mine. This is his truck, I believe. It might be my son's truck, but here we used a ladder, and I started the siding. But I screwed up the first time. I had all the joints together, and my neighbor who built 2 or 3 houses came over and it's like, Mark, you did that wrong. You have to stagger the joints because it's a vinyl siding. It floats, and with the joints together, it'll come apart. So I took it all back down and redid it. And I started on the front right side of my house, then I went to the front, and then I went to the back. That's my son kissing a fish, and that was me holding a fish. It's me working on the back of the house. And I did all this. I bought this place for $30,000, okay? I lived in the house for 6 months. I had a written contract. I didn't even know the lady that I bought the house off of. One of my clients went to school with her. She lived out in Colorado. I signed a handwritten contract that said I got 6 months to get a loan on it with a 6-month extension. Well, it took me a year, and I moved in this house in 2008, right after the flood. My ex-girlfriend lived on the river, and her house was a 2-story house, but it wasn't on stilts, and it flooded. And 4 feet of water in it. And her father, who's a millionaire, he's a retired airline pilot, retired lawyer, he told her to walk away from the house. And she didn't. She got FEMA to give her a low interest rate loan, and the church put the house on stilts, and I did a lot of work on it. But I told her, how about we get married? At the time, she was working at the NICU unit in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm like, it's how about you walk away from your house? We get married. We buy this house together. We fix it up, and I'll fix it up. Then we sell it, and then we buy a house around Little Rock Air Force Base because I'm retired Air Force. I was shooting horses at the time. I said we'd have base benefits, and she chose not to. Well, she was renting a house, and the house didn't have a laundry, and couldn't afford to go to the laundry room, so she asked if she could come over and do laundry at my house, and I said sure. And here I had to, like I said, I had to take the siding back off and redo it because I didn't have it staggered. Um, well, and so sorry, my computer is extremely touchy, and I don't know why. There was no wall here. I bought this scalpel off of a friend of mine, a client of mine, Dale LeClaire. Dale LeClaire was retired from sheetrock, and I bought the scaffolding off of him for like $50, and I did all the sheetrock in my house. Doggone it. That's what my house looks like now. I'll take you around and show it to you. But anyway, my ex-girlfriend, this is my bedroom. It was concrete walls all around it. So I shot studs up, put sheetrock up, and a friend of mine, Ben Stanley, he was a neighbor of mine, and his wife passed away about the same time frame that I bought my house. And so he came over and helped me out, and I had an electrical box, and an electrical box goes to different places in the house. So there's 2 electrical boxes in my house, and Ben put the decorative on the ceiling, and he wouldn't watch me, let me watch him do it. But my kitchen area, again, it was all concrete walls. Now and there's one partial attic in my house, and it's right above my bedroom. This laundry room, I had to redo this. There's a big hole in that area right there. I added electric from that electric box coming over here, going to these circuits right here. Again, this is the room that was nothing but studded that she lived in, that she slept in. There is windows down here, and I took them out. I didn't want people being able to break in my house. I built that TV stand. This right here was stud. All you see was studs. This room right here, above, all you saw was studs. There was no ceiling. I'm going to take you upstairs. This is that closet door that he couldn't get to open and close. And so I added this bathroom right here. There was only 2 bathrooms in this house, one in my master bedroom and one upstairs. I added this bathroom and bathtub and everything. Again, I did most of this work all by myself. This is on top of that bedroom I showed you. Excuse my junk. I added these 4-foot walls. I added these lights. I added that light and this ceiling. I replaced that window. Again, excuse my mess. This is the upstairs bathroom. I added this fan. There used to be a shower here. One day maybe there will be again. There used to be a sink right here. One day maybe there will be again. So you tell me, do you think I'm capable of remodeling a 31 foot by 7 foot by 9 foot section? These are swimming pool lights, by the way. I didn't want something sticking out. So these are swimming pool lights, and it works great. Like I said, I had a year to get a loan. I was using Southern Missouri Bank. Tried to get a loan through them. And they said, well, Mark, we can't give you a loan because you have a loan in a house out in Grandin. And I told them, per my divorce paperwork, my ex-wife is responsible for all that. So I went to U.S. Bank. I had U.S. Bank before. I went to U.S. Bank. Yeah, we'll give you a loan, no problem. Lady came out to inspect my house, and she's like, well, Mark, you need to do this, and Mark, you need to do this, and Mark, you need to do this. I'm like, give me the loan, I'll get it done. I had this house 95% completed, and after my mom passed away, my dad was over at my house all the time. We were playing cards. My mom passed away in September. In March, September 2018. In March 2019, this floor, this entranceway, used to have a laminated flooring on it. And I would walk out and I was going to fall in. It was caving in. So I had to hire somebody to come fix this floor. And he crawled underneath the house and he braced up the beams and everything. And while he was underneath the house, he's like, Mark, your septic pipe has come loose. From September to March, I never use this bathroom. I do, however, take hot baths when my back is hurting because this bathtub, you fill it up, there's no safety catch. The water will fill all the way up. So I soak in this bathtub. But whenever my dad was over, he would use this bathroom. And so I paid the guy to fix the septic. My dad flushed the Depends down my septic. And when he did, it caused a lot of damage to my house. The walls in certain rooms separated from the ceilings, as you can see right there. There's a main beam that goes from there all the way up to the end of this couch here. It broke that main beam. My roof over here started leaking, so I had to pay out of my pocket to get all this stuff done. I claimed an insurance claim through Farmers, and this is why I don't have Farmers anymore. They told me, sorry, it's not covered. Even though in the insurance policy, it says it's covered, they wouldn't cover it. So I've got over close to $2,000 or $3,000 in paying people to repair stuff. I hired my son-in-law, who builds houses for a living, to crawl underneath the house and scab up that main beam. And while he was underneath there, the blocks that hold the beam were like 4 or 5 feet apart, and I asked him to add blocks in between those to make it more secure. So, again, I'm going to have to hire somebody, because I can't do this anymore, to fix all this cracks and stuff. And the textured paint fell off because during that time frame, I was taking hot baths. The water was draining underneath my house. It caused my house to settle some more. It caused that main beam to break. And so that's why there's all this damage. My son-in-law, fixed it, but the damage is done. So I'm going to have to hire somebody to fix all this stuff. And this is my living room. But, getting back to it, if it wasn't for my dad flushing this Depends down my toilet, and I confronted my dad about it. I'm like, Dad, why'd you do that? At my parents' house, they live in town because they have septic issues, because of the roots from the trees and stuff. They would always put their toilet paper and stuff in a bag along with his Depends. But he comes over here and he flushes Depends down my toilet. And I confronted him about it, and he's like, Mark, I never did flush the Depends down your toilet. I put one in your trash can. Maybe your dog did it. I'm like, so you're telling me that my dog, I don't have a dog anymore, but at the time I did, took this Depends out of the trash can, put it in the toilet, and then flushed it? I'm like, my dog is not that damn smart. But anyway, do you think I'm capable of remodeling a house? I think I'm fully capable of remodeling a house because I did all this by myself. And you know what? I use maybe one 5-gallon container, maybe a partial one, and I textured all these walls, the walls in there, the walls upstairs, the walls in that bathroom, the walls in this kitchen, because the ceiling was textured. So I textured all the walls, and where we used 3/4 of a container of mud, I used 3/4 of a container of mud to remodel, to put up 3/4 of the sheetrock. And it took me 5 hours, and that's because people are going to ask me, well, Mark, with your back issues, how'd you do it? I did it at my pace. I put up maybe one section. I mudded like one section, which took me like 10, 15 minutes. And then I would take a 10 or 15 minute break. And then I'd come back and do another section. And my son, when he redid all the paneling, he took all the paneling out, he just dropped the screws on the floor. So I took my magnet, picked up all the screws and junk and stuff. And so, and I did that Monday. I worked 5 hours. Tuesday and Wednesday, I've been laying in bed because my back has been bothering me. So, yeah, if I had a job, I would fire my butt because there's nobody out there that's going to hire somebody that's going to work for 15 minutes and then take a 15-minute break, and then work for 15 minutes and take a 15-minute break, and then work one day and take 2 or 3 days off to recover and then come back. And I don't understand why the VA doesn't give me 100% disability, because I physically can't do what I used to do. I did all this by myself. And I maxed out credit cards to do this in order to get this loan. And so I was over $60,000 in debt by the time I was done redoing this house. And if I was to sell this house right now, my neighbor down the street, they bought a house, and it's a little bit nicer than mine. It's got central heat and air. It's brick. It's got nice vinyl siding on it. They paid $140,000 for it. This house is around 2,000 square feet. It's bigger than their house. If I was to sell this house as is, because I have 9 acres, because I have a stock fishing pond, I should easily get $175,000 out of this house. But this coming year, I'm going to put mini units in this house, so I have central heat and air, and then I'm going to pay people. This kitchen floor here needs redone, so I got to pay people to redo this kitchen floor. I'm going to have a building. I have a concrete pad in front of my house. And I'm like, it's dark out. I can't show you. But it's like 100 feet by 40 feet. It used to be a milk barn. I'm going to put some kind of building on that concrete pad. It's not going to be 100 feet by 40 feet, but I'm going to put 1 or 2 buildings. The steel buildings, the steel storage buildings, I can't think of the name of them, but I might buy those and then put plywood and put a door in, et cetera, et cetera. That way I have a clock room to repair my clocks instead of repairing my clocks in my bedroom. And maybe buy another one for storing equipment that I have outside. But y'all let me know whether you think that I'm capable of remodeling a house. Like I said, there's two electrical boxes in this house. There's one in the laundry room, and there's one right here. Underneath here, there's my tank for my water. My well is 100 feet or so away from the house, but the bladder tank is here, and they had a little bitty box to control the 220 volt for the well and stuff. Well, my friend Ben Stanley, he gave me this box, and we rewired this, so I've got several extra plugs in here to add electrical to other things. But I think I'm more than capable of remodeling a house at my pace. I said, there's the main circuit box right there. And so I'm more than capable of doing what was needed. Anyway, y'all leave me some comments. Please subscribe to not only my channel, but to all the other channels that I say in this video. And may God bless each and every one of you. And by the way, because I couldn't do anything else, my son-in-law and my son put the flooring in his place. Now they have to finish the sheetrock. My son said I did a really great job on the sheetrock. They have to finish the sheetrock, put in another coat of, because with sheetrock, you have to put initial coat and then put another coat of mud over the initial coat after it dries, and then you sand it, and then you paint it. But anyway, I hope y'all like this video. May God bless each and every one of you.